Welcome to Bootstrap Businessmen, the podcast focused on developing the entrepreneur within on a shoestring budget. And I am your host, #1 best-selling fitness author, Dale L. Roberts, and I'm joined by my co-host, the Midwest best, Kevin S. Allen.
Hey, man, how we doing tonight, Dale? How you feeling?
Fantastic, feeling great as usual, of course.
All right, man, same here. Hey, I just wanted to throw a little thing in here. Hey, everybody that's listening, please support the show by simply shopping at Amazon.com. We have a link provided in our show notes. All you got to do is bookmark that in your browser. Anytime you go to shop at Amazon, just click on that. Basically, a small percentage gets kicked back to us. Doesn't cost you any more money. That small percentage helps cover the cost of our show, and overhead. So if you want to keep hearing the awesome, great content and some of the great guests and stuff that we got coming to you, just go in, bookmark that, use that link.
Excellent. Yeah. And hey, remember, if you like the show, then show us some love. Click the follow button on our site at show.bootstrapbusinessmen.com, Stitcher, or iTunes. And the best part is you won't miss out on a single episode if you're following us. And should we decide to have a special pop-up show with exclusive time-sensitive promotions, then you'll know all about it.
Which we've had what, at least 3 or 4 probably over the last few weeks here. Yeah. Pop-up episodes. We're giving away a lot of great books, some audiobooks. Man, people got to follow.
That's absolutely true.
We're live now. Excellent, very good. Go ahead.
What cookie did you just eat? What did you say it was?
Oh man. I tell you, it was a delicious. Let me just pull up the image here because people on podcasts, you can't appreciate it. Just imagine how awesome it is. The Lenny and Larry's, the complete cookie. And don't be confused. A lot of people think this is a supplement. It is not a supplement, but it is a great source of protein. And it is really, really good, really filling. And Kevin, you know where you can get this cookie at?
Where?
DaleLRoberts.com/cookie. That's DaleLRoberts.com/cookie. Yes, your boy here, he is a Lenny and Larry's ambassador. I know they were knocking on my door like, hey, Mr. Roberts. I was like, just call me Dale, L for short. And I was like, so I'm like, just call me Dale. And so like, okay, yeah, Mr. Dale. And of course I had to correct him again. I was like, no, we're gonna be friends now. And they were like, dude, you know what? We're going to make you a brand ambassador. I was like, hell yeah, you are. And Lenny and Larry, I like to call them Len and Larry. And we hang out. We eat some cookies all the time. And so a lot of people think that me being a personal trainer, I'd be like, no on cookies. Listen, man, you only got one life to live. All right? I can understand that you need to do everything in moderation. And you know what? This is my moderation right here. I like to have myself a cookie every now and then. Get your hook up. DaleLRoberts.com/cookie.
Dude, that is and they're a pretty good sized cookie too. I don't know what the ounce.
Yeah,
it's a good sized cookie.
It's about 4 ounces actually. And while we're kind of talking about this, I'm kind of joking about doing brand ambassador type stuff. Believe it or not, pretty much anybody can be a brand ambassador for Lenny and Larry, and I'm not kidding. So, Kevin, you could literally go and apply for it. And literally, you just go on their website to lennyandlarry.com. Or actually, it's lennylarry.com. There's no and between there. So, lennylarry.com, they actually have some information on becoming a brand ambassador. So, let's say, for instance, that you want, I think when you initially sign up for this, they will actually give you a one-time discount of 15% off. And let's say, for instance, you start to direct traffic towards your affiliate link. Then your rewards start going up. So if you sell like $1,000, I think it is, you end up getting like a box of cookies. Like there's certain levels of it. So it's almost like direct sales, but not really. It's, I didn't have to do a direct sales type company. I'm going to eat Lenny and Larry cookies no matter what. I like them. I enjoy them. In fact, it's a great thing that I usually treat myself to after like a workout. In between recording our special guests and our after show.
I guess I never thought about that, man. It would be a good source because it's got 16 grams of protein in it per cookie. So, yeah.
Yeah, and it's really filling. I mean, it's fiber filled. Keep in mind that cookies, it's pretty big. It's about the size of my hand. And it's actually 2 servings. So a lot of people freak out because they go, okay, that's 2 servings. So a single serving is 180 calories. So they're going, oh my gosh, it's 360 calories. Listen. First of all, A, calm down. B, it's not a fucking Big Mac. Okay, so life will be okay if you have
your body's going to break it down. You're going to be fine.
Yes, it really is. And actually the fiber content, you ready for this? The fiber content on it is per serving 4 grams of dietary fiber. That means 8 grams in a single cookie. Listen, and if I recall from a little bit of my basic nutritional information that I learned through American Council on Exercise, it's a good idea to take anywhere from 15 to 30 grams of dietary fiber per day, and that's soluble and insoluble. I could be off on that, so if I am, please, you can chastise me. Email me at bootstrapbusinessmen.com or bootstrapbusinessmen@gmail.com, and we can have a rousing round of who knows their fiber count. So. It's a great way to start out the show. We really didn't even do like a welcome, to Bootstrap Businessmen. Screw it. People know the show. So, it's so great that we kind of kick things off with, sharing this cookie because, you and I are always talking about generating income, being creative with how you do it. And this is just one of many ways. I mean, we've discussed doing Amazon Associates before, and we even talked about it before we got on the show. Amazon Associates it's a brilliant way to, first of all, get it to where people not only support our show, but let's say, for instance, my friend Harold. My friend Harold might have a website. It could be thefinalharold.com. And Harold wants to see about monetizing his website. And that's one of the ways he can do it is he applies through Amazon Associates. And then he can start to get links that he can guide people to. So, for instance, maybe his market of people love reading books about they like to read joke books. So he probably features a joke book for the week. And what he does is he just goes to Amazon, they generate a link, he puts it over onto his website, people click that link, and when they go to that link, he gets a certain percentage of all that. So, those are creative ways that you can come up with, income. And I think a lot of people are so scared to go out away from the 9-to-5 job, the regular day job, because they don't think they can actually generate the income. But the thing is, you're only limited to your imagination or your willingness to do something. Now, we don't want to go down a dark alley on this one here. No pun intended. Actually, pun intended too. Actually, don't go down dark alleys. Yeah. But in any event, it really does. You're only limited by your imagination.
Absolutely.
And it's an exciting world that we live in right now. We have so much more opportunity available to us that we didn't have when you and I were 14 or 15 years old.
Yeah, absolutely not. I mean, especially when you can click. Can't remember the kid's name. Something Maddox? Chase?
Mark? Is it Mark Messick?
Maddox. It's a kid. He's 14 years old.
Oh. Okay, then with a single name. Okay, yeah, I think you mentioned this one before.
Yeah, I watched him the other day, actually, and it's kind of interesting, man. Speaking of when we were teenagers, the only way you could make money was have a bike and do a paper route or mow yards. That was kind of...
Mow yards, yeah. There was nothing but yards in our area.
Yeah, there's a lot of grass. Ass and grass.
Ass and grass.
But this kid, man, he's 14 years old, right? Watch him on YouTube. Okay, another way to connect. He showed how to close a speaking engagement, and he got paid $10,000 for it.
Wow! And so, what did he share at the speaking engagement? Because clearly he didn't just walk up and be like, "Hey, I'm 14 years old. I'm a millionaire. Screw you guys."
No, well, I think you might know this kid. I think he does a lot on Amazon. Gary Vee's had him on his show, he's been on Ellen. He's 14 years old, and he's basically a self-made entrepreneur already at 14. Just utilizing, and you think about it though, man. I'm still learning a lot about the technology that's available, and people our age kind of are. So you think a kid that's 14 that's grown up through the 360s and the PlayStation, and they have iPads when they're 2 years old and stuff, right? So the technology is second nature to them. He's already monetizing and using it. So it's just incredible where he's going to be when he's our age, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's incredible, and, it's something I joke with my buddy Kevin Goodland, about, because he's got, 2 twin daughters, and they're 15, almost approaching 16 right now, and we always kind of give them a hard time. Like, one of the kids that actually has come up right about the same time that I did last year, along with a group of us. It was, Kelly, myself, Dave Koziel, let's see here, Chase Hassan, or Hassan. I'm not really sure how to pronounce his last name, but Chase is, a good kid. But he's not like a teenager kid. But in any event, the kid's name's Justin Kemperman, and Justin is a brilliant kid. I mean, he made like well over 70 grand in Kindle sales in January.
Wow.
And even Jason, can't say enough good things about Justin. He's a smart young kid. I don't think he's barely 15 now.
Wow.
And he's got quite a life ahead of him. He does drop shipping. I'm assuming he still does Kindle publishing. This kid's got a bright future ahead of him. To say he'll be a millionaire in the next year would probably be a worst case scenario. Wow. I think that he's got quite a bit ahead of him. And, I think that, this generation and older, we
Sure.
have so much at our disposal. And, if for some reason you're thinking to yourself, I can't do it, I can't step away from my job and start to make, an income to support myself. Well, that's okay. Carry your regular job and just try to, start to build something part-time on the side. And eventually, if you really put enough time and enough energy and you try to become a student of the game or of wherever you're committing yourself to, whether it be, affiliate marketing or email marketing or direct sales, if you really commit yourself to that process, eventually it will replace your 9-to-5 income, and you can really build a lifestyle around you. Where you can, you don't have to clock in or clock out. You can wake up when you want to, and you can spend that time with friends and family, or for instance, something that you and I have had the privilege to do, which is, I get to spend time with, one of my best buddies from, childhood. I mean, that right there is just tremendous. You can't put a dollar sign on that. And here's the thing is, if I had to carry a 9-to-5 job, I probably would still do this show with you, Kevin, but it would certainly be a little harder. So I think that now I'm allowed to actually just, there's no net. Sure. Can it be scary at times? Absolutely. But
Sure.
What's really cool? It's worth it, man. It's worth it because I can, be able to spend time with my beautiful wife, play around with my cat. I always mention my cat. A lot of people will probably laugh. Be like, what a fruitcake. I love my cat. I love spending time with her,
Hey.
And, that means the world to me. So always just remember, folks, opportunity is just so incredibly available to you right now.
Oh, it's
really
tremendous.
And that's what, kind of ties into, us speaking with Kathleen Nightingale just before this particular after show here. We're actually just recording this right after speaking with Kathleen Nightingale. So if you missed the episode, make sure that you go back, listen to it. Kathleen is she's brilliant. And she actually helps kind of, unkink the hose, if you will, unstop the drain. Get it to where you can get out of your own way and start to build a lifestyle that you really have always dreamed of. Because I'm going to tell you guys, you only got one life to live. I don't care what religion or faith that you're under. You better make this one count, because you just don't know 100% if there's another life to actually make up the difference. Hey, you believe in reincarnation, all the more power to you. But here's what I got to say is, make this one count. Make it your best one ever. And if you're doing it, working at a job, being miserable, then I got to tell you right now, get in touch with Kathleen Nightingale, because I already have a friend that actually got in contact with her, and she was very happy with it. I didn't get to speak with my friend about this directly, and I don't want to mention any names. But, she said, hey, I'll tell you about it. It sounded like she was reflecting on it positively. So Kathleen is an expert in her field. And if you find that, you're going to a job that you're miserable at, I really would highly recommend that you just at least get in touch with Kathleen Nightingale, and then at least she can get your mindset into the right order, and then hopefully give you a little bit of direction towards, developing an entrepreneur mindset. So that's going to be the cool thing right there.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I completely agree with you. And just kind of adding on to it, you're not even 100% sure you're going to wake up tomorrow, to be honest with you. right?
Yeah.
You know, so, and that's, man, that's where you got to come from. Honestly, is you really got to take a look at things. Is this me? Am I enjoying myself, or are you hoping to complete 40 years and then be able to retire and enjoy the quote unquote good life, right? Or do you want to take a risk and maybe enjoy that now? You know, both are choices and both are risky. Yeah. Both are risky, you know, because one, you're playing a gamble that you're going to have that time when you get that certain age. The other one is you got to rely on yourself. You know, are you going to be able to have that income? So they're both risky. Both are choices. But man, one is, I got to be honest with you, man, tremendously outweighs the other option to me. Like you said, you know, if you and I were busting our ass working 12 hours a day and stuff, when we hit this show, we're going to be tired. More than likely, we wouldn't have the guests and stuff that we do have on here. It would just be, you know, you and I kind of going back and forth and just, oh, maybe we'll get to it next week. How about we skip a week or two? You know what I mean? Because I got a lot going on. You know, we've actually committed to this because we have the time, and we're bringing in all of these wonderful people that have started from scratch, and, you know, just helping give them a little bit of a boost too, you know, with their platform. And we do have one coming on. Speaking of guests.
Oh man, I was wondering if you'd ever transition into this.
So that my boy over here.
Me? What do I have to do with it?
Yeah. I didn't really ever know too much about this person.
You're probably going a little too far ahead. We got to go back just a little bit more and talk about your dream guest that you were looking at getting, and then how I said, you know, I would love to have. So let's start at the very beginning and how this actually evolved into what it is.
Which one of my dream guests, my friend? Because I'm
one of them. Anyone, but the ultimate dream guest that you wanted to get, and you've already reached out to this person's team.
Which one, man?
Well, you better just start naming some names.
Because my ultimate one is Tony Robbins.
That was the one, yeah.
Okay, and
which,
actually,
by the way, okay, all right. Here's the thing, folks. If you ever go into a business with somebody, never tell them if you do something, I'll suck off a donkey, because they will remember it. I'm sorry, folks. If you get offended by me saying this, I was being a little overzealous. I was being funny. Kevin goes, okay, so Kevin gets a hold of Tony Robbins' team and, you know, tries to get him over onto Bootstrap Businessmen, because Tony is quite the influential character on both Kevin and my life. I believe Tony is just brilliant. He's so articulate. I love just watching him. He could talk about bananas and how they grow or how paint dries, and it's going to be the most exciting thing I've ever heard, because
it's energy delivery
about him. Oh. It is, and that's one thing I love to watch is his just how he delivers something. It's so passionate. A lot of people will say this, and, you know, Jason said this to me the other day. He's like, your energy is always just great in your videos. I said, well, that's just the way I am. That's how I deliver things, and that's
sure.
I watch people like the Tony Robbinses, and I watch the Eric Thomases, and I watch the John C. Maxwell's. Their energy, they're passionate about things. Ultimate Warrior is really good. He's one of my favorite ones. Yeah, I love listening to this. He had quite the penchant for the F word. I'm telling you what, if you guys think that we're foul, look up the Ultimate Warrior's old videos, you know, prior to his death.
Today.
Oh my gosh, man. But, you know, that was one thing. He even has a great talk about passion, being passionate about things. But Tony is just that type of person, and I couldn't agree with you more, man. That guy is probably my dream guest. In fact, it's funny. We always got to assure our guests anytime they come on, because a couple times early on in our tenure here, a couple of our guests, it was just like they felt like they were like talking too much. I'm sorry, am I talking too much? Am I talking? No, the show's about you. Yeah. So we always have to tell them it's an 80-20 rule. I guarantee you it would be easily. We probably had to fight for our 20% if Tony Robbins came on our show.
It would just be like, hey.
Yeah. Literally, here's our introduction. Yep, it's Tony Robbins. Oh, you know who it is? Well, yeah, listen. And you just sit back and listen. He was on featured in Success Magazine, which I really highly recommend. any entrepreneur out there, if you've got the discretionary expense, get a subscription to Success Magazine. Comes with a CD with each one of them. Yes, people still listen to CDs here. Get over it, folks. Success Magazine is actually, I believe the chief executive officer is Darren Hardy, another wonderful speaker, by the way. Another dream guest. Put him on there. Darren Hardy, wonderful.
So, well, here's the thing, man. Let's put a link together, because Amazon actually right now is running a 3-month promo. If you sign up through their magazine subscription, you get 3 months free.
Excellent. Yeah, let's make sure we put that inside the show description. Yes, and it's not just for us to sell it. If for some reason you screw you guys, I don't want to give you any kind of percentage, which that would hurt my feelings.
It's 3 months free.
But yeah, here's the thing is, go and get a subscription to Success Magazine. It's wonderful. It's chock full of great information. And they cover everything from business startups to the most successful people like Seth Godin. Jeff Bezos of Amazon fame was on at one point or another. Loved his interview. Tony Robbins was on. And oh my gosh, like it's just Gary V has been on, Gary Vaynerchuk. And if you are an entrepreneur and you aren't paying attention to Gary Vaynerchuk, shame on you. I'm gonna take a star off of your report, and I'm telling your mom. Gary Vaynerchuk is fantastic when it comes to entrepreneurs. So we started a rabbit trail. So you shared with me about Tony Robbins, and of course, I'm sorry, guys. There is a cynical side of me. Maybe it's because of years of being in the music industry, the wrestling industry, and now being a self-publisher. I have a certain level of cynicism, and it's not necessarily being pessimistic, but every now and then I always kind of say I only believe it when it comes to fruition. So that's why I ended up making the joke of I'll suck off a donkey. I am not bestial. Just for the record, I am not bestial. Okay, seriously, I will not. Okay, no. Sorry, Kevin. I'm going to have to retract this. No, I'm not sucking off a donkey. I'm sorry.
He just enjoys the peanut butter.
The peanut butter.
No, but I'll tell you what, man. I'm still going after that. It's kind of interesting. Actually, yeah, well, that's for another day. Anyway, still going after that.
No. Go ahead, man. We got time. What were we going to say?
Oh, no, just I got a response back from, like, his team and stuff, asking, like, what do you want? What is this about? You know what I mean? So at least we got that far, right? So then my next guest is like, hey, we talk a lot about fitness, obviously, with yourself. And, I work out and stuff too. It's something I'm doing for my health, right? Changing my life. So I thought, hey, Dana Lynn Bailey. Perfect, right? Let's get her on.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, you get her.
Fan.
Yeah. So you get her, you'll get Tony Robbins, right? That's kind of the mindset. So we're going after her, never heard back. Well, then there's this person. I'm just being honest with everybody. I never really paid too much attention to until you and I really reconnected about 6 months ago or so.
Oh yeah, she's brilliant.
Yeah.
I follow a lot of fitness people.
Yeah. And you brought her up, so I had to do some research. I'm like, who is this person, right? Mm-hmm. So then I found her, and I'm like, wow. This girl, attractive, sure. But she does so many things, man. I mean, she's a busy girl. Olympic weightlifter, worldwide CrossFit competitor, and she was a NASCAR pit crew member. And of course, everybody probably knows, right? We're talking about Christmas Abbott.
Oh, yeah.
So Dale's like, hey, why don't you try to get her? And I know Dale was kind of throwing that out there like, yeah, here you go, buddy. Get some side. Let's occupy your time on the side over here. Let's see if you can do this. Well, where the whole sucking off the donkey comes from is that come June 15th, Miss Christmas Abbott is actually going to be on our show. So
June 15th, yes.
Yeah. And I got to be honest with you, buddy. I chased that one down. I put a little extra effort into it just because I know you're a huge fan and stuff. And I just wanted to say Merry Christmas.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Right? right?
Yeah, well, actually, if you trace it back just a little bit, okay. So, me being a self-published author, I have fitness books, and right about the same time, it was around December to January. Christmas actually ended up releasing a book called The Badass Body Diet, and of course, she has an incredible following. Not just female, male alike. She just has just an incredibly positive approach to her business. She gets on social media. She interacts a lot with her fans. She makes herself extremely accessible. And I never really interacted with her per se, but I usually just read her posts because she's on my timeline in Facebook. And but in any event, as soon as she released her book, it shot up to #1 bestseller. It was just like that. It went into #1 in ab workouts. And I don't ever think of myself as being competing against other authors, but I do notice where a person's at in a particular place in a category, because if I want #1, then clearly I need to do something that's going to be a little bit better than that person who's at #1. And I saw Christmas, and she had her book. It's an amazingly packaged book. It has quite a few great reviews on it. It did really good. So when I actually was able to overtake that #1 spot beyond Christmas Habit, there was a portion of me that was just like, yay. Another portion I was like, oh, because I really enjoy reading some of her stuff, and I like following her, and she's just, a very bright personality. So having her on the show really only further proves how fantastic she is. Because folks, here's the deal. We don't pay a dime for our guests. We don't pay a single dime to have our guests on this show. What they do is they lend credibility to us. They bring more authoritative. They bring more authority to what we're offering as far as being bootstrap entrepreneurs. And because we call ourselves Bootstrap Businessmen, but at the end of the day, we're entrepreneurs that are trying to start up a business with little to no money and try to make it into something big. And Christmas is exactly the type of person that embodies this. So this will probably be one of our farthest reaching entrepreneurs we brought on yet, and I anticipate that we're going to continue to see that. Now, please understand this: having Christmas Abbott on the show does not take anything away from the other entrepreneurs that we had on. People like Michelle Perry is just prime example. I'm telling you this, that she may not have the reach right now of millions of people, but I promise you, in the next 5 years, you watch Michelle Perry, she's going to be pretty big stuff. And someone like, Clay Green. Seriously. I got energy. Seriously, I'm like a big lighter compared to his bonfire. Love me some Clay, which we should have him back. He's already knocking on the door, trying to come back. But just all that to say this, that Christmas Habit is huge. So yes, thank you. Appreciate the Christmas present.
Horrible puns.
It's gonna be another day at the office, I think, for you and I, because ultimately we want to be able to share a Christmas story and show to people that man, I'm telling you, man, that woman never rests. I think she was in Australia not too long ago, actually supporting her Badass Body Diet book, because she's been going around doing some different clinics and such.
And I told you this, man, that in the simplest of terms, is just cool as fuck. Because one thing that really bothers me, and it always has, it just tweaks me, and sometimes I understand it, sometimes I don't. You and I, on the level that we're at with our show and stuff, I think a lot bigger than what we really are sometimes, right? And that's okay. But that's because I know that's where we're going. And, somebody on our level shouldn't be reaching out to these people, right? You just shouldn't, right? That's kind of like the way that people look at it. I'm like, why not? That dude, Tony Robbins, was broke. He's built himself an empire, and he takes care of people every day. Why would he not want to be on our show? Christmas Abbott started from scratch. She's worked her ass off for everything, so she's bootstrapped. And when I was talking with her and her agent, one of the parts about our show that they really liked is that it's organic and that it's bootstrapping. Like, we want to hear her story from day one, not, oh my God, I've got, 1 million book sales or something like that. She's going to share bootstrapping her brand and her business to us and for our audience. To me, that sends, I became an instant fan. And I will continue to follow this person and grow with them. Every book they put out, I'll read. Kind of like somebody else I know, right? So, well, no, because it comes from in here, dude. That's true character, brother. That's true character. That even though she is worldwide, she's going to take an hour and come on and talk to us. Dude, I think that's just so cool.
Yes, it's very admirable. Something that I had learned early on in regards to actually like social media and like YouTube. And there was one point where I really did focus a lot of my time and energy on YouTube. Now anymore, most of my focus is just right on Facebook. Everything else is kind of ancillary. So if you happen to follow me on Twitter or you follow me on Instagram, and you kind of see, it seems like it's automated. It really actually is kind of automated. I was doing Instagram at one point or another, but I have to be honest with you, it just wasn't touching me. And I didn't feel like I was connecting with that. And more recently, Jason had suggested, doing Snapchat, but that's another thing for another day. But Facebook is kind of the thing that I'm focusing on. But I don't know where the hell I'm going. I literally just the train ran off the tracks, dude.
Basically, you feel a little more of a human connection and stuff on Facebook, I think is what you're trying to say.
Yeah. YouTube. It was YouTube. So here's what happens. This is what a lot of experts will tell you as far as YouTube goes, is typically in order to actually start to build subscribers is you try to kind of cross promote. So for instance, here's a good example. Don Mazzetti. Do you ever watch any of his stuff? He's the bro science guy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like the tongue-in-cheek type, comedy stuff. Like, very funny. If anybody hasn't had a chance to watch, Don Mazzetti has made probably an incredible income. He actually has a partner because the two of them actually put the whole thing together, and I think they actually write the entire thing out. But he actually had a number of guests on, everybody from like Kali Muscle to Mike Rashid, numerous people within the fitness industry that he actually brought onto his show, or he went onto their show. So what happens is I was always kind of told is you've got to stay in your play box. So in other words, if for some reason you only have like, say, 50 subscribers, well, then you go over to other people that are like 50 to 100 subscribers. So that way you can kind of mix and mingle and introduce yourself to another target audience. And so it's kind of a quid pro quo. You can see my audience if I see yours. And it's always believed that, you don't reach up to the people that are higher up. So for instance, you don't get a hold of these people on YouTube that have 5,000 subscribers if you only have 50, because, there should be a, reciprocal relationship, and if somebody's at 5,000, they're kind of like, you got 50 followers. What are they going to do for me? So that's where I think Christmas comes in. The fact that she has such an incredible reach and she's willing to take her time and share her story. And, and it's nothing against our audience, but I need to be very realistic. Where we are a small pond, she's an ocean. She has an ocean of listeners, and she's going to be bringing something more to our table than anything. So that right there, I think that's pretty much where we were going. I fell off the tracks for a briefly, but I remembered all of a sudden with the YouTube reach, because I was always told by experts, no, you don't reach up to those people that are higher up, and if you're higher up, don't bother with those small cookies because that's not worth your time. Because you need to be looking at, if you're 5,000, you look at somebody with 5,000 to 6,000 subscribers.
Here's the crazy part too, man. Is and I'll be honest with you, I was very honest about our platforms. I laid out all of our podcast platforms, and so it didn't deter it. So I was like, okay, this is going to be a test right here, because we're not as big as Cosmo, right? Which she's been she's been in
Cosmo as well. Yeah, that's amazing too.
So yeah, man. I mean, to me, I was just blown away. Just wow. I'm excited more just because, like, I just want to see the character of this person versus I could care less about how famous they are now. Right? You know what I mean? I just want to talk to the person. And it's so cool, dude. And I got to be honest with you. I'm just going to be this little creeper. This is all you're going to see of me. I'm just going to sit back and let you take it away.
Ah, you sure are pretty. I
Oh,
like you. I like you in
Oh.
that Cosmo magazine. It's just something I just really enjoy.
oh, somebody has watched Sling Blade.
Yeah, yeah.
Christmas. Yeah, boy. But
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's been the pretty exciting news. Shift gears because we obviously we only got about an hour of doing things, so I think we're halfway through our episode. So I would like to shift gears towards something that we had discussed last time, and I think it bears repeating and revisiting because now we're starting to see a little bit more growth in that direction, and that of course is inside our publishing business. And so, give me a little bit of rundown. Where are we at? What kind of progression have we seen lately? And I know that we have some hookups that we can set people up if they get in contact with us, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. You must be talking about the ACX codes, the audiobooks.
My man. Yeah, exactly. So give me a rundown on that. Obviously, I always like to be, transparent. It's not going to be like a Pat Flynn podcast. We're not going to be sitting there saying, we're making $100,000 per week. Let's just be very realistic. But let's talk about exactly what direction we were doing, and of course, what kind of income are we driving towards our way or projected income?
We're close to $100,000 a week.
Yeah, we're getting there. Well,
every dollar closer, right?
right, exactly. We're out of the red and in the black because actually, I don't think really we've gone in the red outside of just investing in SoundCloud per month. Correct?
That's not even putting us into the red, to be honest with you. So,
okay.
Well, I know we've added more journals. We've taken Fail to Succeed, 10 Guiding Principles of the Ethical Entrepreneur, and Soul Food, and we have converted those into audiobooks.
Wonderful.
We will have here real short 75 audio codes. So codes that we can give away.
Wonderful. Excellent. Yeah. And why don't we do this? I know that even if we do run out of 75, this is going to be a limited time here, folks. This is going to be a limited time. If for some reason you want to get a copy, I know that right now it's on the market as we're speaking live. Fail to Succeed. It is actually on the audible.com. If you want a free copy, drop us an email at bootstrapbusinessmen@gmail.com. Once again, that's bootstrapbusinessmen@gmail.com. And just let us know, hey, I want a copy of the audiobook. Don't just send us a blank email because that means absolutely jack squat to us.
Yeah,
I actually, on one of my pen name brands, I had done the same thing for that pen name's audiobook. And the person legitimately sent me a blank email. I'm like, what the fuck do I do with this? I'm like, I do want some kind of interaction. I don't expect you to, pat me on the back. You're the best show in the world. I can't wait to your next episode. I'll give them my first words until I hear Christmas Habits this interview. You don't need to do nothing like that, but just contact us. Just let us know that you're a real person. Say, hey, I'm interested in having a free audiobook. Hit us up, and we will happily send you one code to get a free download of Fail to Succeed, the 5 Mindset Principles to Personal Growth. And I'm going to tell you this. I already got the audiobook, and it is fantastic. And in fact, I didn't think it would work because, and anybody wants a full backstory, you can always go to my YouTube channel and self-publishing. I'm not allowed to review products on Amazon. It was due to the fact that I violated some rules, and I share the whole thing over on my YouTube channel. If you want to go to that, you could go to dalelroberts.com/YouTube. And I'll tell you a little bit about why I lost my privileges to review on Amazon. Well, ding dong me. I finished a Fail to Succeed. Now, I can post a review, but they won't stick on Amazon. So that's the thing, is I can post a review, it just won't stick. It won't stay. In other words, no one will ever see it. It'll just disappear. Whereas I went on Audible, like a big ding dong. I was just like, whatever. I'm like, I just finished up my workout. I'm like, here I am, like 5 stars. It was great because the narrator's just spot on. He's very old school. Paul Harvey sounding, like the rest of the story. You know, he just had such an articulate way of delivery. And I was just like, wow, he took a book that you and I wrote, and I swear to you, it was like I was hearing somebody else's book.
Fail to succeed.
Yes.
The
Fail
5
to succeed.
mindset, principles, and beliefs of the F.
Yes, he had such a beautiful voice. And speaking of, we'll talk about a future guest here coming up at the beginning of June.
Yeah.
At any rate, though, yeah, I just loved it. So I hit 5 stars, and I was like, oh, I wonder if this will let me post a review. So I was just like, the narrator, I was like, narrator is really good, brought to life, blah, blah, blah. I was like 2 sentences. And I was horrified to see the damn review stuck. So now I look like a freaking, all-encompassing, like, self-absorbed piece of shit. So please, guys, listen. I did not mean to review my own thing. If anything, I reviewed the narrator. I had no part. Yeah, I just literally, like Kevin was the one who actually brokered the whole deal with the narrator. I said I liked him, because he showed me a couple of them, and I was like, when I heard him, I was like, I like him. I was like, he sounds pretty good.
He's he's actually doing 10 principles and soul food. So,
did you say is 10 guiding principles done and it's just waiting approval through ACX?
No, it's for sale on Audible. It's just a couple more days before it'll be for sale on iTunes. Actually, we're going to flip this around a little bit. Mm-hmm. If people send us an email, for the book or for the audiobook, I'll tell you what, I'm going to take most of the guesswork out for you. I'm going to send you a gift, and it's going to be that book. So you don't even have to worry about going, using the code, doing all the promo and stuff. I'll just send the gift to you.
There we go. Okay, that's Kevin's word, So same email address, bootstrapbusinessmen@gmail.com. Get yourself hooked up on that. So, we started talking a little bit about narrators, and of course, I have a pretty deep catalog of books. So, in more recently, I just finally this is why let me turn, if anybody's watching this on YouTube, I actually have a Rode microphone, and it was something that was recommended through ACX to actually do narrating. And I was originally thinking about doing narrating because I've spent so many years working with senior citizens, and I've read so many books. Let me tell you how many times I've read Chicken Soup for the Freaking Soul. Okay, a lot. A lot. I could literally. Absolutely. And I mean, it was just so many different versions of that book, but I loved it. There's something so meditative about it, and it's actually hypnotic to a certain extent, where I would actually go into like a hypnosis, and I would read these books, and the seniors just loved it. And I loved how, like, literally, if I ever canceled that or I wasn't feeling well enough to read, you'd literally just see their posture kind of go, oh. It was like they really enjoyed it. But I thought, okay, I'll be able to narrate my own books. So that's why I kept putting it off and putting it on the market. And that's when I had a conversation with my mentor, and he said to me, listen, stick to what you are strong at doing. You can write workout plan books rather than having to worry about learning a new skill of doing, audiobooks and narrating. He's just like, you just got to learn when you can start delegating those duties to other people. Will you get 100% of your profits? No. But he's like, you're going to get so much more in the long run if you focus on developing new content that can be in turn put over to a narrator. And I got to tell you, man, I'm glad that he said this to me, because it was a reality check. And it's so funny because he pulls no punches. He's just kind of like, he's always like, bro, you don't waste your time, man. Don't, you need to be focusing on your next book. He's like, what brought you to the table? What gets you the money? And I'm like, I knew what he meant. And that's the thing is, if you are developing your business and you're strong at something, you find something that you are really good at and you're getting paid for it and you're getting results, don't stop doing it. Do more of it.
Yeah, you can hire. I mean, my goodness, you can hire virtual assistants, and just like on the ACX, the audiobooks, basically you can go in and no out-of-pocket expense. I mean, you're sharing
zero.
You're sharing the revenues with your narrator, but hey, that's okay. It didn't cost you anything, and it didn't take any of your time. So,
and it's a good way to build residual income. That's the bottom line. Is I say it's you make money while you sleep. Well, you make money while you sleep. You make money while you're awake. You make money, period. And sure, it's 50% of the earnings than, say, if you were to do it on your own. But guess what? You get all the headaches, hassles, and horseshit the hell out of the way. And you're starting to generate a lot more. So, I mean, it's phenomenal. For instance, one book I put off for the longest time was The Consummate Fitness Professional. It's actually one of my books based on my personal training career and some of the things that you don't necessarily learn through a schooling environment or through a manual. So I just take some of those things and I put it on there. And for the longest time, I just wanted to narrate it. I was just like, I want to narrate it. It's mine. It's mine. And well, I found a great narrator, and this guy just knocked the ball out of the park. Unfortunately, I didn't stick with him for my complete brand because I found somebody. I'm telling you, dude, have I showed you any of the clips of Morris yet?
No.
Oh, wait till you check out Morris. But anyway, I used to think his name was Maurice, and that's the way it's spelled. It's actually just Morris. Morris R. Cravens II. Morris is actually going to be on our show on June 1st on a Wednesday. So if you want to tune in live, you want to come in on that, we're actually going to talk to a person who does voiceover work and narration. Nice. He has, I mean, this guy's work ethic is second to none. Man, he just did stretch workout plan over the course of a freaking weekend. The stretch workout plan is not a short book.
No, it's pretty intricate too. Yeah.
It's very intricate. Yeah, it is very intricate and very detailed. A lot of people say, well, how can you do an exercise book? What it comes down to is it goes through the full descriptions, and he even does the exercise descriptions, but and included when it gets to a point when something needs to be visual, he says, he inserts into the audio, please refer to the PDF that has come along with this. And he sounds so much better than me just saying. I sound like a big ding dong. He sounded like, he literally sounds like a blend of old school radio with Morgan Freeman, and you'll get a chance. And I have not talked to, I haven't talked to him in person yet. We just kind of corresponded by email, and really that's all we've done. And he's getting 50% of earnings, and I'm telling you this right now, he's doing just incredible work. I mean, he's cranking out one after the other. So if you ever are interested in a career as being a voiceover or narrator, or knowing from the other end ACX, tune in on that show. If you're a self-publisher, or if you're considering going to self-publishing, listen to this show on June the 1st, because it's going to really show you the other side of the fence. Because we've talked about ACX, but only as the people that are, already have the content, and we're getting a producer to put it out on audiobooks. So he'll give you a better idea how to use this thing, pointing to a microphone. People in the podcast are just like getting like these really vile pictures. You get to use this thing, and they're kind of like, oh my gosh, don't use that thing.
No, he whipped out his thingy.
Yes, not that thing. Yeah,
not that thing, the other thing.
Yeah, I'm pointing to the microphone, but yeah, Morris, I'm looking forward to this. Literally going to be, it's like a blind date sometimes with you and I, isn't it? We get some of these guests on, and we honestly, we know that they're, developing their own business, but sometimes we don't really have that full connection. So every now and then, if some people kind of go, wow, that show really kind of took a turn for the worst. Listen, you're riding along with us here. So, I mean, for instance,
this is unscripted.
Unscripted. I mean, things like, when we interviewed John Gray, the guy who has his own podcast, he drops off at one point, he gets on, and he just reams another referee. I mean, like, I just said, screw it, let's let it just run. So, yeah, whenever you hear these things, unscripted, we don't send people a list of questions. We kind of got a general idea what we want to talk about. So sometimes if things kind of slow to a halt, it's because, we're trying to make it flow organically. We're not trying to make this some stuffy program. If you want to listen to a stuffy program, turn on the TV. Go to a podcast that, people like to, sniff their own farts and,
I drive a Prius and whop. It smells. I'm moving to San Francisco.
So, yeah, I think Morris is going to be fun. He definitely seems to be a very engaging and fun guy. His delivery on the brand is really awesome.
Talk highly about him.
Yeah, he already has done my 4 quotes books, and he did the compilation for those, and he did that in a record 1 week. I'm telling you, he is like that. Actually, it was 6 days he did that. And let's see here. He's already done stretch workout plan. The 90-day home workout plan is done. I think that Oh, we just did the 11 cardio routine that I have. That one's up. That one didn't take too long because it's like a 20-minute book. And I think right now it's what's waiting my queue is the ABC workout plan. He just finished that one up, and it's waiting for approval. So I got to go through and actually listen to that process. So all these things end up going through ACX, and they just make sure all the audio levels sound just right. And then about the next week to 2 weeks, it'll be on the market. And both myself and Morris are going to be collecting some residual earnings, and that's amazing, because otherwise, I mean, I was only making money 2 ways with that book. So with the Stretch Workout Plan, I was selling on Kindle, and that was the #1 bestseller again in Germany. For some reason, I'm like David Hasselhoff of Germany or something, because I sell pretty well over there.
The Hoff.
Yes, David Hasselhoff's a man, and I know that he was big in Germany at one point. But anyway, I keep hitting #1 bestseller over there in Germany. That's fantastic. I love that and really appreciate the support. But nonetheless, I was only making it through Kindle and CreateSpace, which is the paperback. And now I opened up this other income stream. So I have 3 different ways that I'm bringing income from one single source. I only had to do the work the one time. And that's sitting down, writing that book. And sometimes I think that's what people get a little overwhelmed about when it comes to the book process, because they think, just
you only got to write it. Just write it.
Yeah, just write it. And, hey, look, it's not going to be perfect. Actually, I think I mentioned to you by message, I picked up a book on Kindle Unlimited. I've got the membership through Kindle. It costs $9.99 per month, and I can check out 10 books at a time through Amazon. And one of the authors, his name's Tom Corson Knowles. And Tom Corson Knowles is a very successful sub-publisher and an entrepreneur. There's somebody we should get onto our show. Tom is just young fella, and I'm telling you, he's built a huge business underneath him, and so many ways of income. The book's amazing. It's called The Secret of the Secret of the Six-Figure Author. I might be messing up the title, but
no, that sounds correct.
Yeah, and he, which, by the way, really good read. You get a chance, go on, read this, and it'll actually help you out regardless of what business that you're going into, because what he's providing is some good sound advice on actually developing yourself in order to actually develop your business. So, in any event, check out that book. I was going somewhere, but once again, the train fell off the tracks, rode way the fuck off land. Sorry about that.
He jerked the wheel, folks. He jerked the wheel.
Yeah. And the thing is, I'm not tired or anything else like that. I think I'm just rambling too much here at this point. Save me, Kevin! What am I doing to this show?
Oh, too much. I'll tell you what, dude, there's another, to be honest with you, there's another thing that we're doing with the books that Bootstrap Businessmen has out on the market, and that is we are translating them into different languages.
Oh yeah, that's right, and that's another avenue to do, because
it's another income stream. Yeah, and here's the cool part: it takes about 10 minutes. Is it okay to share the site?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay.
I mean, why not?
Babelcube.com, BABEL cube.com. Basically, you go in. I mean, you upload your book, your titles, whatever you're looking for, your description. It actually asks for your ASIN and everything from Kindle, so it's really well connected. You go in, you set up the account. What language do you want to translate from? English to Spanish, Portuguese, German, whatever. Then there's a little option. You find a translator, and they go to work on translating your book. Guess what? It took me 10 minutes to set up. I don't have to translate it. Again, it's another royalty share, but that's okay. We don't have to translate our own book or pay a translator to do it. Yeah.
And if anybody is in this kind of business and, you're thinking to yourself, well, why don't I just take my book and put it into Google Translator? I need to be very realistic and be very honest with you. Google Translator is not good for everything. And sometimes it will translate things the wrong way. And it would be like somebody coming and starting to speak in broken English. You might understand a few things in there, but for the most part, it won't translate very well. Yeah, you got to, it's much like anything that you really want to put out and that's going to represent your business. You want to make sure that you're delivering good value. And if you're doing half-assed things like putting it through Google Translator, which, by the way, Kevin, people have done that kind of crap. And I think
that's crazy because you could end up throwing or offending somebody if it's translated improperly.
Absolutely, that's a huge reason why you want to hire someone like a translator to make sure it's good. And my wife actually has done it for her fiction business, and she ended up making one of my pen names that I've done for her fiction. She ended up making a #1 bestseller in Spain.
Nice.
When it was translated to Spanish. So that's another feather in my cap right there. So I'm a #1 bestseller, not just through the Dale L. Roberts name. A lot of people will probably speculate, and a couple of close people know exactly who it is. But I don't think I'll probably go to the grave with me about who this pen name is because it's not something I want associated with the Dale L. Roberts brand, or for me for that matter. So we'll just leave it at that one right there. So
yeah, folks, it's got something to do with donkeys. I don't know. It's something.
Yeah, right. We are. We're full circle. We're starting to get towards the end of the show, so we might as well let's go ahead and attach the bestiality again. Might as well. Someone's offended at some point hearing this, but hey, if you're offended, hey, we got
the channel.
You can, if you're offended, what you can do is you can go scroll down to right below the video here, or you can go into our podcast in our description, and there's a link to Amazon. And to file your complaint, what you got to do is you have to actually buy a ticket item of like $100 to $1,000 or more. And that's how the more you put into it, the more more like valid your complaint is. So
the more we'll see it. It's going to come right toward the top of our desk.
You gotta make it hurt. Dig into your soul and make it hurt.
Whoa! We went a little Sunday morning Baptist preacher on us there.
You gotta make it hurt. Hey, look, I come from a long line of Robertses. So Oral Roberts,
my God.
Oral Roberts, old televangelist. So you gotta make it hurt. You gotta dig into you gotta dig into your pockets. So
you gotta reach deep.
You gotta reach deep, and if you want to file a complaint, you go to the link in the description below, and you gotta purchase the largest item on Amazon that you can possibly, go out and take a mortgage on your house. You can sell your firstborn kid. Wow, I'm starting to sound like Dusty Rhodes now.
Yeah, I was like, whoa.
Let me tell you something.
So, speaking of Babel Cube, though, man, just kind of getting back here.
And the train goes back on the tracks.
Actually, one of the translator that got it, she's like, this is she took it. She's sent me a message. She said, "I'm very glad that I seen this because I'm an up and coming translator entrepreneur." She's trying to create this business of translating as her business.
Really? Nice.
Yeah. So she said the content in the book really sits well with her, so she's more than happy to translate it because she's going to learn something from it. I was just like, wow, okay, cool. So, it's fail to succeed. Yeah, man, that's kind of stuff.
That is tremendous, actually. And, anybody that's tuning in, I want to say this, that I just found this out, actually. This is literally like, I set Kevin up with the avenue of Babel Cube, but he took the ball and ran with it. That's one of the beautiful things about, working a partnership is I tell Kevin something, I don't have to say it twice, like literally. And the funny thing is I've gone back and checked on it. He's like, don't worry about it. I got it. So that's why I stopped worrying about the translation. I figured you got it.
Unless it's what was the question that I asked you again today? Oh, if something...
Where to get Lenny and Larry cookies?
Yes. And you keep telling me where to go. DaleLRoberts.com/cookie. So now I've got that in my brain and know where to get them from. But no, dude, you asked me about revenue and stuff. I think that, honestly, man, I think we're going to be hitting 3 figures here pretty soon. So...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure too as well. Between KDP, ACX, Amazon affiliate codes, Amazon merch, which by the way, you and I need to put our heads together on the A store because we want to make sure that we get that all attached to the Bootstrap Businessmen name and put in your new shirt. Your new shirt is killer. That's a good idea, by the way. What a great quote and something that's very inspirational. Yeah, and I think it's a great way to represent the brand as opposed to
that's where I was coming from, and you think about it, dude, we create our own beauty, we create our own mess, we create our own income as an entrepreneur, you know what I mean, as the warrior. So, just kind of sat with me a little bit. So, and trying to figure out GIMP.
Oh my gosh, we got about 5 minutes left on the show, by the way. GIMP is actually a photo editing shop.
Hold on a second.
It's actually shareware, so you can actually get it for free. But go ahead.
So you want to feel like a real dumbass, right? Is you're working on something in a program and you go to YouTube because everything's on YouTube. And if you talk to Dale, he's like, hey Kevin, try YouTube. It's a new thing out. Check it out. Anyway, so I go over to YouTube, I type in my question.
You forgot to say, get your drink. La-di-da.
La-di-da. Drink your Wawa and smell your farts. And jump in your Prius and go to Frisco. So I jump on YouTube and I had a question about GIMP, right? How to do something, how to put a transparency mask on, right? If you don't know what I'm talking about, you know what? You can go to YouTube. They'll tell you.
Yeah. Yes. Go to the translator on BabbleCube. Maybe they'll tell it to you.
Yeah. Yes. So here's a perfect description. Matches my question. Everything. I'm like, bam. Click on the video. Let's get ready to start up after watching a little commercial there for about 3 seconds. Hit skip. Get ready to start up. Yeah, this kid was like 11 years old.
Yes. I think I've seen that kid. Yes. That one like literally infuriates me because I'm already pissed by the time I make it to YouTube, and I'm just like, "Oh, shut up! You're better than me. I know. Stop rubbing it on my face."
You got this 11-year-old kid, and I'm just sitting there going, "Really?"
Yeah, he's like,
so what you gotta do is you gotta go over into this. You're gonna click right on the masks, and you're gonna apply the mask, and
Yes, he's got braces, so it sounds like this. Yes. And if you want more information about GIMP, you can go visit my YouTube channel. I'm like, this fucker's got a YouTube channel.
Yes, and actually, if I remember, he had like thousands of views. He had thousands of views. So this kid's monetizing his stuff because there's ads on his YouTube. So that means that he's generating some kind of revenue. I don't know how much it is, but he does sound like he's very young. But actually, I learned a few things from him, and I wish I knew what it was.
But he's 11 years old.
Incredible. Yeah, it's incredible. Some kid. Yeah, I actually ran into that one. And if anybody really wants to like just hate life for a few moments, download GIMP and just do yourself a favor. Try to do something in it. Yeah,
anything.
Just anything. Just like put a picture on it or put the text on.
Well, first of all, download the template from Amazon merch. Right? so you have that, so then you put your picture in it. Now, from that point, what I want you to do is upload your picture onto your shirt. That's your step where you're going to find out where you made the mistakes at. Because then all of a sudden the whole background is on there. You're like going,
yeah. So you forgot to right-click and then delete layer. So you had the original layer that was on the template. I know what you...
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
I know.
So now I just learned something new because I went through and set a transparency mask on that layer to hide that. So I took the long way home. But my computer almost went out the window 17 times in about 15 seconds. So
it is such an intricate program, and anybody that's looking into, if you're interested in doing some basic graphic design type things or photo editing, things like that, GIMP is wonderful. But I'm going to tell you, the learning curve is very steep. But as soon as you can get over that curve, it's all smooth sailing. Seriously, I know that stuff inside out, upside down, and around. I can do almost anything. So you can probably pull up like a good book cover, and I could probably duplicate that thing almost 90% to what it originally looks like. So
that's going to be the next step, brother, is making the paperback cover for 10 Guiding Principles. That's going to probably take me about a week.
Yeah, it might. But the nice thing is as you're going along, as soon as you are completed with that, you'll have a template that you can forever use. So all you'd have to do is just switch out the front cover, and then you could just change the back cover. So, but that's another conversation for another day. Boy, we've covered quite a bit of ground inside this hour episode. It's always a blast doing this. I think us switching it to just one special guest per week and then our after show conversation.
Thanks.
This is working out wonderfully. Yeah, I think it is. And a lot of people are going to discover that it's very self-publishing heavy. Well, there's a good reason because obviously that's a majority of what my day consists of. And something that Kelly brought up, Kevin, and I can't agree with her more. I was like, ooh, yeah, she wants to hear a little bit more about Kevin's business. And I said, well, Kevin says it's very boring. And she said, well, let me be the judge of that. So maybe in a future episode, we can sit down and talk a little bit about your business and how someone can possibly, look into something like that as an option because, there's so many businesses out there, and it's not like you're going to be able to take over every single one of them. So there's really no competition when it comes down to it. So yeah, maybe we can sit down for like an episode and just talk about, how you develop your business, how you built it, not just about, getting the cards and going out and, shaking hands, kissing babies, but, just the end of, how did you set your business up? How do you maintain it? How do you spin the plates and make sure everything's going? So that would be a fun episode. Maybe we can shelf that. I don't know if you know how we are. We'll probably get to next week. We're going to have something even more exciting. Like, yeah, Tony Robbins is coming on the show. Throwing babies in the air. Hooray!
Well, let's put it this way, man. We'll give a little bit of a taste here and stuff. I took something that some people do a little bit traditionally, and I built something around it. This is where I came from. Is because I saw a need from so many different avenues, right? That as a business owner, Dale, is it better for you to go search 15 different places to find something, or is it better to know you can go to one place and find everything?
Absolutely, for convenience sake, that's the thing is when you can. It's something Gary Vaynerchuk says is when you can give somebody some of their time back. That is the most invaluable resource of anybody is time, because you can always replace money, but you can never replace time. And so by you providing that is just it's you're like the Uber of your business. Uber has given people. It's giving people their time back to them. And so, that's going to be something too, is if you're developing a business, that's one of the models. I wish I can say that, my particular business model does that. And to a certain extent it does, because I funnel a lot of great information for fitness into one resource. Of course, it saves you some time, but I think what you do is more epitomizes that. The fact that you can go to 15 different places, or you can go to one person or one business and accomplish all of those things. So kudos to you. So you actually do provide something, and you see, look, you're saying your shit's boring. Now I'm excited and we can start another hour, but dude, let's wrap this shit up, because otherwise people are going to start tuning out and they're going to be like, fuck these bootstrap businessmen, them and their body-dod jokes and they're
sniffing, Prius driving,
talks about donkeys and everything else in between. This is great, us talking at the same time. Hey, folks, just a little bit of a reminder. I know we're going to go into a commercial right after this, but I do want to say thanks. I really appreciate it. If you want to tune in live Wednesday nights, it's actually Wednesday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and that's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you tune in at that time, you actually will be able to hear us live. Now, the only way that you can tune in is you have to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I've made it as simple as possible for you. All you have to do is go to youtube.bootstrapbusinessmen.com. Once again, that's youtube.bootstrapbusinessmen.com.
Click it. Click follow.
Yep, and just hit subscribe. Now, here's the thing. Here's something that we need to remember is anytime we tell somebody subscribe, that's only one part. Yeah, you got to turn those notifications on. There's a little cog right next to that subscribe. Click that cog, and it's going to say turn on notifications. Because the thing is, if you don't have your notifications on, you won't know that we're going live. And here's the nice thing. Like, I enjoy Ty Lopez. He posts something live every day on YouTube. And I don't exaggerate, every day. And I get a notification here on my phone when he goes live. So then I can just go ahead and tune in. So the same thing would go for this show. If you want to get it live, that's the best way to do it, is you got to jump on here. Now, I can't promise you that we're going to be here at 5 o'clock on the hour every single time, or 8 o'clock on the hour, or Eastern Standard Time. Today we had a little bit of hang up on some technology. So we started it was about 10 minutes after. So we were a little late. So that's why turning on notifications is probably the best idea. So you're not sitting there waiting at your computer. Anytime now, they're going to go live. So
just kind of hang back, man. Grab something to drink. We'll be there.
Yeah, and a reminder, hit us up at bootstrapbusinessmen@gmail.com if you are interested in getting that audiobook. So, Kevin, any last words before I hit the stop broadcast?
No, just thanks for hanging out with us tonight, and we'll see you next week.
All right, very good. Thanks a lot, folks. Bye.
Just a reminder, you can support the show by simply shopping at Amazon through the link in the show description. Every time you make a purchase through the provided link, a small percentage of sales goes back to support our show and cover overhead costs. And there's no additional cost to you, and it greatly helps us out. Simply go to the link, bookmark it in your browser, and do your shopping on Amazon at no extra cost to you while you support your two favorite podcast personalities, Bootstrap Businessmen.
Absolutely, Dale. And also, everybody, just as a reminder, you can follow us at Stitcher.com. Just type in Bootstrap Businessmen. It's going to, pull up all of our shows and episodes so you can listen to us there. Go to SoundCloud.com. Type in Bootstrap Businessmen. iTunes.com. And type in Bootstrap Businessmen. And you can follow us. You can download the podcast on your phone if you have an iPhone. Stitcher and SoundCloud both have an app that you can put on your phone so you never miss an episode.